Princess Leora sat alone in the grand hall of her spaceship. Her eyes were filled with worry. Her father, King Relner, lay very sick in the palace on their home planet, Zillaris. The doctor said only one thing could save him, a rare medicine found only on Earth. But Earth was far away, and their enemies watched them closely. The enemy was a cruel race called the Dracons. They wanted to take over Zillaris and rule the galaxy. They had trapped Leora's family for months. The king's health was getting worse every day. Lyra knew she had to do something fast. She could not let her father die. But the Dracons had one strange demand. They'd wanted a gift, something valuable to keep peace. They did not want money or weapons. They wanted a living gift. Lyra thought about her daughter, Shura. Shura was not like other Xylarian children. She had different features, with rough skin and strange eyes. Many on Zillaris called her ugly. The nobles ignored her. Some even whispered that she was bad luck. But Lyra loved her daughter deeply. With a heavy heart, Leora made a decision. She would send Shura to Earth as the gift. Maybe humans would take her. Maybe they would care for her better than the Xylarians. It was risky. Shura would be alone and far from home. But it was the only way to save her father's life. Lyra found Shura in her small room. The girl was sitting quietly, drawing stars on a piece of paper. When Leora told her the plan, Shura's eyes grew wide. She did not understand why she must leave her home, but she saw the pain in her mother's eyes. "I will go," Shura said softly, "if it means saving Grandpa." Leora hugged her tightly. "You are brave, my daughter. You will make new friends, and one day we will be together again." The next day, the spaceship's engines roared as it prepared for the long journey to Earth. Shura felt nervous but also curious. She looked out the window, watching the stars pass by like shining diamonds. When they arrived at Earth, Shura's heart beat fast. The planet looked so different from Zillaris, full of green trees, blue water, and strange buildings. People stared at her. Some looked afraid, others just curious. A small group of humans came forward. They were scientists and explorers. They said they would help Shura. They promised she was safe here. Shura took a deep breath. This was a new beginning. She was not just a gift. She was a bridge between two worlds. And she would show everyone that even someone called ugly could be strong and important. Shura stepped carefully down from the spaceship's ramp. The air smelled different here, fresh and alive. She blinked under the bright sun. Everything was so new, so strange. Tall trees swayed in the wind. Birds sang songs she had never heard. The ground beneath her feet felt soft and warm. A group of humans stood nearby, watching her closely. They wore simple clothes and gentle smiles. One of them, a woman named Dr. Elena, stepped forward. She held out her hand. "Welcome to Earth, Shura," she said softly. "We will help you here." Shura nodded, unsure what to say. She looked at the humans, their faces full of kindness. But deep inside, she felt nervous. Would she ever belong here? Would they accept her? The humans took her to a small building filled with lights and machines. They asked many questions about Zillaris and her life there. Shura answered as best as she could. She told them about her father, the king, and how she had come as a gift to save him. Some humans whispered among themselves. They looked at Shura's rough skin and unusual eyes. She could feel their eyes like 1,000 tiny needles. Some called her ugly behind her back. Others said she looked strange, almost like a creature from a story. But Shura did not cry. She had learned to be strong. She remembered her mother's words. She was brave and important. Days passed. Shura tried to learn about Earth. She watched humans closely, how they talked, laughed, and worked. She wanted to be like them, to fit in. Dr. Elena and her team taught Shura about Earth's language, culture, and technology. They showed her how to use simple devices and explained Earth's history. Shura was a quick learner. She was curious and smart. One day, Shura went to a nearby park. Children played and ran freely. Some stopped and stared at her. One boy, around 10 years old, came closer. He had a kind smile. "Hi, I'm Max," he said. "Do you want to play with us?" Shira felt her heart beat fast. She had never had friends before. She nodded shyly. Max took her hand and led her to the others. They welcomed her, asking questions and laughing together. For the first time, Shira felt a warm feeling inside. She belonged. But not everyone was kind. Some adults were afraid of her. They whispered that she might be dangerous, or that she was different. Shira knew she had to be careful. That night, looking at Earth's stars, Shira thought about her home planet. She missed her family, but she also knew this new world could be her chance to prove herself, to show humans that even someone they called ugly could be a hero. Shira smiled softly. Tomorrow was a new day, full of hope, challenges, and maybe friendship. Shira woke up early that morning, feeling a strange mix of excitement and nervousness. Today, she would leave the safe building where the humans had kept her and explore the nearby town with Max and his friends. For the first time since arriving on Earth, she would see the world from the eyes of humans, and maybe learn what it truly meant to be one of them. The sun shone brightly, warming the streets and shining on the colorful buildings. Shira walked carefully beside Max, watching the people around her. They were all so different, tall and short, dark and light, happy and worried. It amazed her how many kinds of humans lived together in one place. Max introduced Shira to his friends. There was Anna, who loved to read books, Leo, who was always fixing machines, and Sarah, who drew beautiful pictures. They welcomed Shira without hesitation. They did not care about her strange looks or her rough skin. They saw her as a friend. As they walked, Shira tried to join in their games and conversations. At first, it was hard. She didn't understand all the words or jokes. Sometimes she made mistakes or said things that sounded odd. But the children laughed kindly and helped her learn. During the afternoon, Shira noticed something surprising. Humans were very different from Zilarians, but they shared feelings: happiness, fear, sadness, and hope. She saw children helping each other, families caring for one another, and strangers showing kindness to those in need. For the first time, Shira felt a warm feeling in her chest. This was what her mother called humanity. It was not about how someone looked or where they came from. It was about kindness and courage, about standing together even when things were hard. That evening, Shira sat with Max's family at their dinner table. They shared simple food and stories about their lives. Max's mother smiled gently and told Shira, "You are welcome here. You are part of our family now." Shira's heart swelled with gratitude. She realized she was not alone anymore. But that night, as she lay in bed, doubt crept into her mind. What if the people from Zilaris thought she had failed? What if her mother regretted sending her away? What if humans never truly accepted her? Just then, her small communicator beeped softly. It was a message from Princess Leora. "Shira, remember who you are. You are strong. You are loved. No matter what happens, your family waits for you." Tears filled Shira's eyes. She wiped them away and whispered, "I will make you proud, Mother." The next day, Shira woke with new strength. She would face the challenges ahead. She would learn about Earth, about humans, and about herself. She was no longer just an alien castaway. She was a bridge between worlds, and she was ready to find her place in both. Shira had been on Earth for several weeks now. She was learning more every day about humans, their language, their feelings, and their world. But there was something she had not told anyone yet, something she was afraid to admit, even to herself. One evening, as the sun set behind the hills, Shira sat quietly in her room. Her hands trembled slightly as she touched her skin. She felt a strange warmth deep inside, a power that sometimes came without warning. The first time it happened, Shira had been frightened. She was playing with Max and his friends when suddenly, a small plant nearby began to glow, and grow faster than normal. The children stared in wonder, but Shira quickly hid what she had done. She was afraid they would be scared or think she was dangerous. Now, sitting alone, Shira tried to control the power. She closed her eyes and focused. Slowly, she felt the warmth grow stronger, moving through her fingers and into the air around her. The light from the window flickered as if the power inside her was real. She opened her eyes and saw the small plants on her windowsill glowing softly. It was a sign. Her alien blood was different from humans, and with it came abilities she could not fully understand yet. The next day, Shira told Dr. Elena about the power. The scientist listened carefully, her eyes wide with surprise but also interest. "This is incredible," Dr. Elena said. "It means your species is more advanced than we thought. But it also means you must be careful. Others might want to use your power for their own gain." Shira nodded. She knew the risks, but she also felt a new sense of hope. Her power could be a gift, not just for herself, but for her new friends and for Earth. In the days that followed, Shira practiced quietly. She learned to control the glowing plants, to move small objects with her mind, and even to heal minor wounds. Each small success gave her more confidence. But not everyone was happy. Some humans whispered about her strange abilities. They called her a threat, a danger to their world. Shira heard the words, but she refused to let fear rule her. One afternoon, as she walked through the town, a group of people blocked her path. They shouted words she did not fully understand but knew were meant to hurt. Shira's heart pounded, but she stood tall. Max and his friends came quickly to her side. "Leave her alone," Max shouted. "She's one of us." The crowd hesitated and slowly moved away. Shira smiled gratefully at her friends. She realized that even with her powers, she needed their support. Together, they were stronger. That night, looking at the stars again, Shira made a promise to herself. She would learn to use her powers for good. She would protect those she loved. And one day, she would return to Zillaris. Not as a castaway, but as a hero. Shira felt the wind brush her face as she walked through the quiet streets of the town. She had grown stronger and more confident since arriving on Earth. But deep inside, she knew her past was not far behind. The enemy that had threatened her family, the Dracons, had not forgotten her. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, Shira saw strange ships in the sky. They moved silently and swiftly, like dark shadows. Her heart raced. The Dracons had found her. The next day, Shira warned Dr. Elena and the others. The humans listened with worry. They had never faced such a powerful enemy before. "We must prepare," Dr. Elena said. "If they want Shira, they may try to take her by force." Shira's friends gathered around her. Max looked serious but determined. "We will protect you," he said. "You're not alone." But Shira knew this would be a hard fight. The Dracons had advanced technology and fierce warriors. Earth's weapons might not be enough. One night, Shira dreamed of her home planet. She saw her father weak and alone, and the princess, her mother, desperate and afraid. She woke with tears in her eyes. "I must be strong," she whispered, "for my family, for Earth." The Dracons sent their agents to Earth's surface. They disguised themselves as humans, blending into the cities. Shira and the humans had to be very careful. One afternoon, Shira was walking near the market when a strange man stepped in front of her. His eyes were cold and dark. "You do not belong here," he said. "Come with us, or there will be consequences." Shira stood her ground. "I belong where I choose," she said firmly. The man moved quickly, trying to grab her. But Shira used her power. A bright light flashed, and the man stumbled back, surprised. Max and the others came running. The man vanished into the crowd, but Shira knew more would come. The team worked day and night to prepare defenses. They built barriers and traps, and Shira trained harder to control her powers. Despite the danger, Shira felt a new strength inside her. She was no longer a scared girl sent away as a gift. She was a warrior ready to fight for her new home. The Dracons would learn that humans were not weak, and Shira, the princess's daughter, the ugly alien, was not someone to be taken lightly. Shira stood at the edge of the small hill overlooking the town. The wind tugged at her clothes, but her eyes were steady. The Dracons were coming, and she knew they would not stop until they had captured her. But Shira had made a promise to protect her new home and the people who had welcomed her. Max stood beside her, his face set with determination. "We're ready, Shira," he said. "Whatever happens, we fight together." Shira nodded. She felt a deep strength inside, one that was not just from her powers, but from the friends and hope she had found on Earth. That night, the first attack came. The sky darkened as Dracon ships descended like silent storms. Their weapons glowed with strange energy, firing beams that scorched the ground. The town's defenses, built by Dr. Elena and her team, held strong, but the enemy was fierce. Shira moved quickly through the chaos. She used her powers to create barriers of light, shielding the humans from harm. With a wave of her hand, she healed the small cuts and bruises of the children hiding in shelters. But the Dracons were clever. They tried to outsmart her, sending sneaky fighters to break through the defenses. Shira caught them one by one, her powers growing stronger with each fight. In the midst of battle, Shira remembered her mother's words. "You are brave and important. Use your strength not just for yourself, but for others." She shouted to the humans, "Stand together. We are stronger than they think." The humans rallied. They fought with courage and teamwork, inspired by Shira's bravery. Max led groups to help protect the town, while Dr. Elena directed the defense systems. The battle lasted for hours. When the sun rose, the Dracons retreated, their ships disappearing into the sky like dark shadows. The town was safe, but Shira knew this was only the beginning. After the battle, Shira gathered with her friends. She looked at their tired but hopeful faces. "We did it," she said quietly. "Together, we can face anything." Max smiled. "You showed us what true strength is." Shira felt a warm glow inside her. She was no longer just a stranger or an outcast. She was a leader, a protector. That night, Shira sent a message to her mother. "The people here are brave and kind. I am learning to be strong for both my worlds. I will not let you down." Princess Leora's reply came quickly. "I am proud of you, my daughter. You are the hope of Zilurus and Earth." Shira looked at the stars, feeling the weight of her mission, but also the fire of her resolve. She was ready to face whatever came next, not alone, but with her new family. The sun rose over the town, painting the sky with soft orange and pink colors. After the fierce battle with the Dracons, the people were tired but not broken. Shira looked out over the streets, feeling a new hope stirring inside her. Humans were stronger than anyone had believed. Word of the fight spread quickly. Humans across the town began to organize themselves. Farmers, teachers, workers, and children all came together to build defenses and share supplies. Shira watched as people worked side by side, no longer afraid but determined to protect their homes. Max showed Shira how humans used simple tools to create strong barriers. They built walls from wood and metal, using old machines to make the work faster. Shira helped too, using her powers to strengthen the walls and repair broken parts. But the most important thing Shira saw was the spirit of the people. Humans did not have the advanced technology of the Dracons or Zilurus, but they had courage, creativity, and hope. Shira spent time with the scientists and engineers, learning about Earth's weapons and machines. She shared what she knew about Zilurus's technology, and together they worked to improve their defenses. One day, while testing a new shield device, Shira felt a spark of excitement. "This could help us stop the Dracons," she said. "If we work together, we can protect Earth and Zilurus." Max smiled. "You're right. Humans can rise to any challenge." The people trained hard. Children learned to work as teams. Adults practiced using new tools, and Shira taught them how to use courage and quick thinking in battle. But even as the town grew stronger, the threat of the Dracons loomed. Scouts reported enemy ships moving closer to Earth. The humans would need every bit of strength they could find. One night, Shira gathered her friends under the stars. "We may be small," she said, "but we are brave. The Dracons think they can scare us, but we will show them the true power of humanity." Max nodded. "We will fight for our homes, our families, and for you, Shira." Shira felt proud. She was no longer just the alien girl from another world. She was a symbol of hope, a bridge between two worlds, showing that even those who are different can be strong and important. As the stars twinkled above, Shira made a silent promise. No matter what came next, humans and aliens would stand together, united and unbreakable. Far away on Zilluris, Princess Leora sat in her quiet chamber. The stars outside her window twinkled coldly, reminding her of the distance between her and her daughter. She thought about Shira, the girl she had sent away as a gift to save her father's life. Leora felt a heavy weight in her heart. She had made the hard choice to send Shira to Earth, thinking it was the best way to protect her family and kingdom. But now, hearing reports from her spies about Shira's bravery and the human strength, she began to doubt. Her advisors told her to focus on the future of Zilluris, to trust that her daughter was safe. But Leora could not stop worrying. What if sending Shira away had been a mistake? What if she had abandoned her daughter? At the same time, a spark of pride grew inside her. Shira was no longer just a castaway or an outcast. She was a leader, a fighter. The humans had welcomed her, and together, they were standing against the Dracons. Leora's heart ached with longing. She wanted to send help, but her people were still recovering from battles, and the Dracons were strong. A message arrived from Earth. Shira's words were clear and full of hope. She wrote about the humans' courage and the bonds they had formed. She promised to return, stronger, ready to protect both worlds. Leora smiled through her tears. Her daughter was growing into someone remarkable, someone who could change the fate of their galaxy. But the princess knew the time was coming when she would have to choose again. Would she call Shira back to Zilluris, or would she let her daughter stay on Earth, building a new home and new alliances? For now, she watched the stars and hoped that her family, no matter how far apart, would find a way to be together again, and that Shira's courage would light the way. The sky over the town darkened as the Dracon fleet returned. This time, their ships were larger and more powerful. The people of Earth and Shira's friends prepared for the battle they knew was coming. Shira stood at the front, her eyes glowing softly with the power inside her. She had grown strong, and so had the humans. Together, they were ready to face the enemy. The Dracons attacked with fierce energy beams and fast fighters. The humans used their new shields and weapons, fighting bravely. Shira moved through the battlefield, protecting those who could not defend themselves and using her powers to heal the injured. The fight was long and hard. The Dracons seemed endless, but the humans would not give up. Shira remembered her mother's words, to be brave not just for herself, but for everyone she loved. As the battle reached its peak, Shira focused all her strength. A bright light shone from her hands, creating a powerful shield that blocked the Dracons' strongest attacks. The humans pushed forward, inspired by her courage. Max and the others fought alongside Shira, their teamwork unstoppable. Slowly, the Dracons began to retreat. Their leader, a giant armored warrior, stepped forward to face Shira. "You cannot win, alien child," he growled. "Return to your world or be destroyed." Shira stood firm. "I am not just from another world. I am part of this one now. We fight for Earth and Zilluris, for all who want peace." The warrior charged, but Shira used her powers to stop him. With the help of her friends, she defeated the Dracon leader. The enemy ships turned and fled, disappearing into the dark sky. The town was safe. The people cheered, lifting Shira and her friends as heroes. For the first time, Many saw her not as an alien or an outcast, but as a protector and friend. That night, Shira looked at the stars and sent a message to her mother. The fight is over. For now. We won because we stood together. I am ready for whatever comes next. Princess Leora replied quickly, pride shining in her words. You have made us all proud. The future is brighter because of you. Shira smiled, knowing her journey was not finished. But with humans by her side and her family watching from afar, she was ready to face the future. Strong, united, and hopeful. The battle was over, but Shira knew the real work was just beginning. The humans and aliens had fought together, but now it was time to build a future where both worlds could live in peace. Shira stood before a large crowd in the town square. Humans and a few friendly aliens from Zillaris gathered, listening carefully. She spoke with quiet strength, her voice full of hope. We have shown that different worlds can come together, Shira said. We are stronger when we stand as one. Earth is my home now, but my heart belongs to both Earth and Zillaris. I promise to work for peace between our worlds. The crowd cheered. Max stood by her side, proud and smiling. He knew Shira had become a leader, not because of her powers or her heritage, but because of her courage and kindness. Princess Leora watched from Zillaris through a special communicator. Tears of joy filled her eyes. Her daughter had become more than she ever imagined, a symbol of hope and unity. Shira worked with Dr. Elena and other leaders to create new plans. They built better communication systems between Earth and Zillaris. They shared technology to help both planets grow stronger and safer. Schools opened to teach children about different worlds. Humans and aliens learned each other's languages and cultures. Friendships grew. But Shira never forgot the lessons from her past, the pain of being cast away and the strength found in kindness. She visited Max's family often and helped the town prepare for any future threats. One evening, Shira stood outside, looking at the stars that connected her two homes. She felt peace in her heart. She was no longer the ugly daughter sent away. She was a bridge between worlds, a leader who had changed the fate of many. A new chapter had begun. Together, humans and aliens would face the future, not as enemies, but as friends and allies. Shira smiled, ready for whatever adventures lay ahead.